Hey guys, thank you so much for being here. In this video, I wanted to focus on some new drugstore stuff. Some of it's really new to me, and some of it I've actually had for like a few weeks now. And I just felt like I didn't have a great opportunity to talk about it till now, so here it comes. Some of this stuff I would actually say is like hidden gem type status. Like, just because it's new to me, some of it's not necessarily new on the market as a whole. And I've definitely run into some cool items. And by the way, the eye look at the blue on the lower lash line. I am so feeling this look so much. So anyway, we'll get to that. I'll touch on exactly what I'm wearing as I go here. But first things first, there's a brand new foundation from CoverGirl that I snagged off the Ulta website. It's called Vitalist Healthy Elixir Foundation with Vitamins, and specifically E, B3, and B5, and it also has SPF 20. It claims to be oil-free, and I have it in the good old shade Creamy Natural, and that is what I'm wearing today. And I've worn it just a few times so far, not really enough in my opinion to give you a solid review. By the way, I just did a little poll on Twitter, like, how long do you think a reviewer should be using a foundation before they pass along their review to everybody? And most people feel like about a week is the best gauge for that, and I would tend to agree. I do think a foundation is something that it can't just really be a one-time thing, like how did it wear on that one random day, because circumstances can be different every day, and other products you combine with the foundation can make a lot of difference. So that's kind of what I'm in the stages of figuring out right now. What I can tell you is, like, regardless of primers and different powders I might put on top, I do really like the way this foundation looks immediately after application. What I've noticed so far though is that I do get kind of oily, and the staying power has not been great with this. I don't know what my deal is, because I felt like my skin has been like normal to dry for quite some time now, but certain products I think are really bringing out the oil, and I'm really just breaking them down in my T-zone area. So this is one of those that just has not had fantastic staying power for me so far. This is just kind of a little progress report on it. That's what I've noticed, and I will see, like, with different kinds of maybe setting powders or different kinds of primers, how I can help that situation. Today, for the first time, I'm trying my Smashbox Pore Minimizing Primer underneath it, and that has really helped a lot of my foundations last better, so we'll see if it works for this one too. But don't know if I mentioned it's a pump style like dispenser here. It's a glass bottle, and it's just that kind of foundation where it's like, I wouldn't call it full coverage, but it's a strong medium coverage, and it really evens things out nicely. I like applying it with a brush, and I feel like right after I put it on, I can look up super close at my skin and be like, yeah, you know, that looks really smooth and very skin-like. So I promise I will follow up here. I'll keep you updated on that. I got a new LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Light Ivory. I actually already had one of these, and it's kind of like running low, actually. Yes, I'm using up product. There's a product that was kind of like rediscovered in my collection, pulled it out after not using it for quite a while, and I was really pleased with what it did for my under eye area. So I thought, when I noticed this was being sold on Ulta's website, I picked up another. I'm wearing that today on my under eye, and I just think it's a pretty solid concealer. It doesn't necessarily take as much product as you might think. That's another one of those concealers that, like, in the Instagram and social media world, you see people like just freaking slathering the stuff on, you know, for contouring and highlighting and whatnot. I just actually think it does a pretty effective job of covering with like a small to moderate amount. So I got another one of those, and I thought I would try one of their setting powders in the banana shade, because I already had one of their like light or white basically setting powders, and I've been using this on and off to set the under eye area, and I'm really liking that too. I think recently I talked about a loose powder from Makeup Forever, one of their setting powders, and how it feels just incredibly next level silky, you know, as you rub it between your fingers. This doesn't feel quite like that. It feels to me a little bit more like a traditional powder, but it's very smooth and it's very fine. And it is kind of yellow toned, but it's not super dark yellow, so it still seems to brighten a little bit on my under eye area. It does not wear as flawlessly throughout the day as the Laura Mercier does. I mean, that stuff has, like, you know, 50% powder, 50% magic in it, and it like, I don't know what it is about it, but it looks great at the get-go, and then I can look at myself in the mirror at like 3 in the afternoon and be like, what? I don't look like I'm, you know, 95 years old here. No offense to any 95-year-olds watching. Seriously though, it's really hard to find a powder that looks good in real life in that area, because so many people can pull it off on camera. You got all this perfect lighting on you or whatever, and stuff looks great. The true test of under eye powders is how is it actually gonna look, you know, when you're 75% through your day. And this one, I would say in that sense, it's good but not great. Here's another LA Girl thing that I got that I absolutely love. I love this shade so much. It's their Just Blushing blush in the shade Just Playful. One of those kind of dusty rose type blushes, wearing it today, it's good. You know, that's the kind of blush you want that can just kind of go with any situation. It's intensely pigmented and it is super soft to the touch. Like that just feels, I don't know, it feels like a Lorac eyeshadow or something when I touch it. But this is one of those lines of products now that has piqued my interest, and I'm definitely going to be thinking about maybe trying some other shades because this seems to be a really, really good formula. Can I talk about my lip color for a second? Because I just laid eyes on this guy. The Neutrogena Revitalizing Lip Balm SPF 20. I have this in the color Soft Caramel, and I've had these in the past in a number of shades, but you know, makeup doesn't last forever and I've had to throw out some stuff over time, and so I decided to repurchase one of these, and I have re-fallen in love with these lip balms. I mean, Neutrogena freaking knows what they're doing when it comes to lip products. I'm telling you, the Moisture Smooth Color Sticks, they've got some nice glosses these days, and these lip balms are just phenomenal. I've got it on my lips today, and what did I throw on with it? Just a little bit of lip liner, this Milani Color Statement lip liner in Spice, just to kind of give my lips a little bit more definition on the outsides. But this is what this balm looks like. It's just kind of like a tint of nude to the balm. It is just the perfect lip balm texture, you guys. Out as far as stick lip balms go, this is so good, and it makes my lips feel like full. I don't know what it's doing. It's definitely not got any kind of stingy plumping action to it. It smells just like, I don't know, kind of a light fruity smell, but it's smoothing out everything on my lips. These lip balms, my gosh, I've got to go back and get some more colors. Why am I like that? It's like once I like one, I got to get all the colors. But no, I really like this one, and I think this is so like everyday wearable. That, my friends, is a hidden gem of the drugstore. And here's another odd little purchase that I made, a CoverGirl brush. How many of you have actually tried a brush from CoverGirl? Now, they're not known for their brushes. They don't make a lot of brushes, but they got one here. They got an eye brush that's double-ended, and one side of it, at a glance in the packaging, I thought, is that going to be kind of like my Sigma E25? Well, it's not as fluffy as that, but it is tapered in a very similar way. By that I mean it's got like shorter bristles here, longer bristles right at the tip top of the brush, and it's also tapered down that side as well. I'm here to say I did the entire eyeshadow look with only this brush. I mean, it patted on the lid well, it wedged into the crease. That was the best thing about it, I thought, was that when I wanted to get color in my crease and then kind of pull it up and get this nice like kind of diffused, buffed out quality to the eyeshadow, it did that so well. And then the other side is an angled brush, which it's not the star of the show here, let's be honest, but it's nice, and I use that to smudge out my pencil liner on my lower lash line. So, I don't know, this is kind of cool. It's sort of one of those one-stop shop, does-it-all brushes, because much like my Sigma E25, it's effective in the crease, but what this is sort of going beyond with is being just a little bit flatter than that, so I actually can lay down some shadow on my lid, and it's not too oversized, by the way. Like, I don't have massive eyelids, but this is what we're looking at in terms of size to the lid. So I'm surprised. I'm really surprised that I like it, but it's good. And here's another thing that I like, and this is a little bit newer. This is the Physicians Formula Natural Nude Insta Ready Multi-Finish Eyeshadow Palette. The mattes in here are killing it. They're really good. This, now I know we're loaded. You look at this and how many people just rolled their eyes because they're like, oh, a neutral palette. Yeah. I'm not talking about this saying like everybody needs this or this is going to replace like this, that, and the other. glitter that's already in your collection. No, if you've already got neutral eyeshadows that you're happy with, feel free to tune me out. But if you're looking for drugstore price range, something small, and maybe you're a beginner and you feel a bit overwhelmed by some of the super duper pigmented and intense eyeshadows that are out there, even from the drugstore, like Wet n Wild can even be a little bit much with some of their palettes in terms of intensity. And if you're looking for something a little bit softer and natural, like it's still pigmented, don't get me wrong, it shows up beautifully on the eyes, but there's a softness to these shadows. It's just like they're a little bit down a notch intensity wise, but they show up enough to definitely get the job done. So this is what my eye look is all about today. I've got this shade in the crease. That's what's giving me this beautiful, like straight up caramely vibe there. I've got the dark matte brown in the outer corner. I've got some of this white shade on the lid and a little bit of this shade that has some shimmer too. But what you're getting in this palette is mostly matte with a couple of pearly shades, and then this shade that is about as sparkly as it gets, and that can be, you know, a little bit flaky, but it actually looks really pretty on the eyes. So that's what's going on the whole upper part of my eye, and I did it all with that brush, like this end of this brush. It was a one brush look, so pretty good stuff there. They blend so well across each other though, so it's a very easy palette to work with and get a look out of. And there's also a little brush included here. Yep, just right in there, a little flat brush. You might like it just for packing shadow on the lid, but I like how it's just part of the packaging design. And what's on my lower lash line is actually not part of this haul, but I'll just tell you really quick while I'm talking about eyes. I use this Makeup Forever Aqua XL in M22 on my waterline, and I smudged it on the lower lash line with the angled side of this CoverGirl brush. And then I fully committed to blue on the lower lash line. I used my voluminous blue mascara. This came in like a PR package. That's why I think it's got this golden cap. Are they selling the golden cap ones in the store? I'm not sure. But I was kind of hesitant because L'Oreal mascaras have not always been the best in terms of staying smudge free, voluminous specifically. Like I've had some smudgy issues sometimes with that. So this may be a hot mess by the end of the day on my lower lash line, but it looks really pretty now. And this definitely like accentuates that blue liner. I don't know if it's maybe coming off as much on camera, but in person, I'm like, wow, that is a blue lower lash line. So yeah, that's the story on my eyes. Ooh, it's okay. We don't have any makeup casualties as a result of that fall. Everything's intact. Makeup Revolution. Got a couple of these shimmer brick looking guys. And you guys know I've enjoyed this Bobbi Brown compact here that has the 3 different ones. It's got gold, it's got bronze, and this one's called Wild Rose. And I don't think this compact is available any longer, but each of these shades is something that's individually sold in the Bobbi Brown line. So I kind of got obsessed in thinking about possible alternatives to those shades, and Makeup Revolution has one called Rose Gold, and this to me looks very much like the color scheme of bronze, and bronze is one of the most versatile ones in this palette to me because it can be kind of like a bronzer on the skin, it can be a blush when you use some of the more centralized shades in the brick, and it can also be a highlight too, but it's got a very similar color scheme here. So I want to do some more comparisons. I might, I don't know, maybe do a dupe video if I can find some more to throw in. But then I also got the one in Pink Kiss, and that to me looks a heck of a lot like Wild Rose, or at least similar. These Makeup Revolution ones, I think a difference might be that they seem even more metallic, but the color scheme is certainly there, so I'm excited to play with those a little bit more. What I did today, on top of that LA Girl blush, I used a little bit of this, and I just went sort of for the main part of this palette, and I just topped my blush. Just went straight over exactly where I put my blush. And then this top shade up here, this is interesting. This top shade is a very similar shade to the Becca Prismatic Amethyst highlight, and I love that. That's a highlight that has this little hint of a like pinky lilac twist to it, and I've got this, just the top part. It's seriously. And then this happened. Okay, I'm going to fit this brick together. What? You guys, I totally fit it back together. Like I squished it in there. It seems solid. Okay, rude, but as I was saying, the top one, the top little strip here, if you can confine your brush to that, which I could using my little Moda Highlight and Glow brush, this reminds me so much of that Prismatic Amethyst from Becca, and I think that's cool. You know, I like that it's combined in here, and this already has a lot of pinky tone to it. Could probably be a blush type shade on its own, but anyways, that was tense there for a couple moments. I do enough puzzles with a toddler around. I don't need to have to puzzle back my highlights. Last few things here. This new mascara from Physicians Formula, kind of cool on the packaging. See how it's very spirally and neat? This is called the Lash Contortionist Curl and Lengthen Mascara. It says it's an interlocking fiber mascara, whatever that means. You can see that the brush spirals around, but it's like a flat layer of bristles that's doing that, and where it spirals in, there's a lot of product being held there. Like, you can potentially get a decent amount of product on your lashes and then kind of turn it and pull through. Sounding a little supersizer-ish to anybody, because that's sort of what it reminded me of. But my problem with this is that the brush does not separate quite well enough, and it might be the newness of the mascara, so don't take my word for it just yet. But it lengthened out, it thickened them up, but as I kept going through my lashes, which I didn't think I spent a whole long time on them, but I kept sweeping through to get everything coated, and I felt like stuff started sticking together. So maybe as I use this more and some more product gets used up out of the tube, I won't have quite that much of an issue, but it certainly does not separate like Supersizer does. And then I picked up a couple of Wet n Wild brushes that I have not yet used. One of them is this sort of crease brush or blender brush looking thing. It's interesting because it's not very tapered. You notice the flatness there across the top. It's just round all the way around here. It's not pinched in at all, but it's just not very tapered, but it's extremely soft, and I think it would be a great just straight up blender type brush. And then I got this eyeliner brush, and this is so nice and stiff. I think this could be perfect for gel liner. I'm hoping it's not too fluffy, but I feel like once this comes in contact with a cream or gel liner, those little bristles will really hang together well. And I like the bent nature of that little top part there, the ferrule. So we'll see. I hope I can get excited about this and bring some of those gel liners that I haven't been using back into the rotation. So that's all I've got for you for now, everybody. Just some of the new drugstore products that I've been trying. Some like really new on the market, some just new to me, but a couple of hidden gems here. This stuff from Neutrogena, you want to be getting you one of these lip balms. They've got a range of shades, but this is the caramel that I have. This CoverGirl brush, oddly good. I mean, very multitasking. A whole eye look with just the one end of this, and I think it's a pretty decent eye look for that matter. Who knew? These Makeup Revolution things, you know, they're nice, but try not to drop them, for crying out loud. This LA Girl blush is really, really good. Liked this too, so I've had some good hits here. My hair, on the other hand, I tried a high ponytail today and it's just all over. But thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate your time. I so appreciate all of your kind words in the comments section. You guys are so nice, not only to me, but to each other, and that is so, so appreciated. So I will talk to you again very soon. Bye.